Will the tech stocks momentum continue through Wednesday's report, or will the run come to an abrupt halt? Karen, how are we setting up with the 9-day winning streak going in?
Well, I can't speak to whether it will go up tomorrow, but I like it. I haven't changed my position. There's a lot to like here. Something's going on is just catch up, right? It has really been the laggard, and there's a lot of things to like. Obviously, the valuation, I think, is not in any way stretched at about 19 times. And there's Waymo, right? You see that there's a big valuation for Tesla's robotaxi, however it might grow into, I don't know. But Waymo, I don't think, you can't tell what's embedded, how much for each, but that's something. Also, we talked a lot about, as we talk about Netflix, YouTube. And so how valuable that is. And then there's the search business and the cloud business. And the search business, we all know, has been under attack. We'll see. We'll actually get it. The search is overwhelmingly the most important thing in this business by far. Recently, though, it does seem like their AI efforts have been more promising. So that's good. So it still is well below a market multiple. So there's a lot to like. I don't think anything's really changed. The big concern is, what is the ultimate, how are they going to address the Justice Department's issues? On the one hand, right, they talk about a monopoly in search, but on the other hand, we're seeing the market evolve in a way that doesn't speak to a monopoly in search. Right. So I don't know. That is a big question mark.
Well, it's funny with Google because we talk about the expensive market. It doesn't seem to matter. So an expensive market doesn't necessarily limit you to the upside. So the question is, does it help you to the downside? In other words, does it give you support? And is it a rallying cry for a company that is cheap relative to itself? Google's probably 1.5 to 2 turns cheap on a forward basis. And that's for a lot of the reasons that we've talked about. So again, relative to itself, not the market. So it's even cheaper to a market that's not more expensive relative to itself. But I think the things to be excited about is that the core search expectations out there are somewhere between 8 and 10%. I think that's going to be great. What you hear from the street are that channel checks and the check-in on search so far are really quite positive. YouTube, I think, is going to be a standout to the upside, and I think it's underappreciated by the street in addition to the Waymo. And I think that's really what the call here. I think the bar is actually quite low. I think the comps are quite easy relative to what we've seen before. I'd skew long.
Yeah, if you don't believe there's an existential risk in terms of search, it's absolutely cheap. Karen just said 19 times. She's right. YouTube, 12.5% now. I think they dominate. It's YouTube's world and Netflix world. So everybody else is sort of vying for second and third place. But the technical setup for this one is interesting. If you go back to this time last year, we topped out at 190, sold off. Then we made an all-time high earlier this year, sold off. Here we are at 190. So for you Head and Shoulders fans out there,
are you?
The formation, not the shampoo. No, Tim, I've never had that problem. I don't have a dry scalp.
You brought it up.
By the way, I think Selsun Blue is actually a better product, but I digress. We're in the midst of one right now. So how do you play this? This thing closes above 195. I think it's going to take out that prior all-time high.
I am concerned about search. I think YouTube is your tailwind. You have cloud as your tailwind. I think there is an existential reason to be worried about search.
Why?
Perplexity, ChatGPT, AI. I mean, do you? I don't normally search through Google anymore. Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, I
do. I use Perplexity and I use Grok and a bunch of other, but my first go-to is still Google.
I find that maybe it's the younger generation that's searching more with AI. Kids are searching now through TikTok, right? So they search through their social media platforms. When I'm looking for things or restaurants now, I actually look through Perplexity, and then you could see where it's sourced. But I think that's the real risk. And if that's 86% now, where does it go in the next 5 years? I mean, it's down dramatically in the last couple of years.
Doesn't it have any sort of inherent advantage in that it has this quote unquote? I mean, if you value the installed base on Apple, doesn't Google in and of itself have a sort of installed base as well? I mean, the default for a lot of people is Google or is Chrome. You have Gmail. I mean, there are a lot of things that are sort of built into this ecosystem that people are part of already.
Well, one of the potential remedies is Chrome being sold.
Yeah.
That would kind of be a big deal.